Thank you for the introduction. I'm the second time standing here and trying to represent before you, and I'm so happy. And this study is about Mongolian American community schools in the USA, and it's not my study. It's work of teamwork, and Dr. Borchton, Dr. Walsh, and also my co-worker from IBM, Jagdagdorj Erkhembayar, and we made this study. And basically we try to define first role of the Mongol schools in the USA. Actually, it's not only in the USA, around the world, and also not only Mongolian schools. Maybe it's other schools have similar roles. So our first findings was culture preservation, and also Mongolian language and all Mongolian scripts and bilingual, and also it was learning Mongolian history and traditions. Also the schools has pretty good roles for community building, not only kids, also the parents and Mongols live here and visit here. And according to Council of Mongols in Abroad, there are 48 Mongolian schools and Mongolian cultural organizations around the world, and actually in 16 countries. And it's pretty amazing numbers, right? And this year, there are 6 schools in the USA right now currently active, and there are 28 teachers in works for that schools, and also a summer camp. It's kind of like similar summer school in the US, right? So we had 2 questions. Basically, we're trying to find what is the current state of Mongolian American community schools in the USA. And second research question was, what is their challenges? What difficulties do they have, or what kind of opportunities do they have? And we use different type of methods. First, we created a discussion group from all schools, and we discussed and we talked with them and asked a few questions, and all discussion group were representatives from all schools in all 6 schools. And also we had teacher survey, and all 28 teachers answered and attended, participated on that survey. And based on the survey and group discussion, we tried to make some SWOT analysis. And that all data collected from September to December last year. And there were 14 schools in last year in US. And you see numbers here based on which area. And this year there are only 6, so basically 8 schools closed last year. And you see there is number 1, and it put here in a little special in gray in Bloomington, Indiana. And maybe wonder some of people how many Mongols live in Bloomington and how many kids are there. It's we put in the Bloomington, Indiana because of Saros. If there is mistake, that's Saros' fault. Because he ran summer school, summer camp in Bloomington, Indiana every year. When he created Mongolian Culture Center 20 years ago, he started 2 things. One is this conference, and we're having 12 here now, and the other one is Mongolian summer camp, and he ran 12 years. So I thought it's pretty similar to, we thought it's pretty similar to summer school in, smaller version of summer school in US education system. there are kids in there in entire week, and they talking Mongolian, learning Mongolian. So that's why there's one school in Bloomington, Indiana. And the Bay Area, California, San Francisco area has one school, and Los Angeles had one school, but it's closed now. And Denver has 2 schools, and Chicago area had 2 schools, and Washington D.C. probably the biggest school, and 1 school here. And you can see those numbers from also from different numbers, but it's from same area. One of the first Mongolian schools started in Denver, Colorado 20 years ago, was in 2006, and currently this school has 45 students and 4 classes, and students age 3 to 10, and they teach alphabet. They call it Sagantalpa, but we translate it to alphabet. And also they teach Mongolian language and dance. And currently they have 4 instructors and 2 assistants and 1 advisor. And most communication is web page, Facebook page. So our first presentation, Boston talked about how Mongolians use Facebook, right? So basically all schools use Facebook. Very good. We can see from here too. And another first Mongolian school in USA is school in here in Washington D.C. area. It's also founded in 2006, 20 years ago, and first they had 10 teachers and about 100 students, and now currently they have also 100 students and 7 different classes and ages from 2 years to 16 years. And they teach alphabet, Mongolian language, reading, history, and dance. And school has 11 instructors, and also main communication is Facebook group. B Mongol is Mongolian school in Bay Area, and founded in 2009, and currently has 19 students and 4 classes, and their age is 5 to 16. And they teach Mongolian language, traditional dance, horse fiddle, chess, and drawing. And this school has 6 instructors, and also that school has website, and Facebook group is main collaboration communication tool. And Urtuu Mongolian School is in Denver, Colorado, founded in 2010, and it currently has 30 students, and ages are 5 and up, and teach Mongolian language, culture, and chess. And this school has 3 instructors, and main communication tool is Facebook page. Mongol Metric School is in Chicago, and founded in 2011, and currently has 45 students and 4 classes. They have 6 instructors and kids, student age 5 to 14, and they teach Mongolian language, tradition, dance, chess, drawing, and main communication tool is Facebook page. And another school in Chicago, Chicago Mongol, founded in 2011, and 48 students and 5 classes, and this school has 11 instructors. Most number of instructors has this school currently, and teaches alphabet, Mongolian language, dance, music, drawing, horse fiddle, piano, and guitar. And also this group, main communication is Facebook group, but it's not for public, it's only for parents of students. And here's a school in Bloomington, founded 2005, and every year camp has 30 to 40 students, and last year they had 2 rounds. One is smaller children, and the other one is high schoolers. High schoolers, right? Yeah. And teach Mongolian language, culture, and old Mongolian script. And they started STEAM. STEAM means science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics classes. And 5+ instructors Sarot has every year. And interesting is the MCC brought invited professional instructors from Mongolia for the camp. And main communication tool is Facebook group, and also center has their own website. And here's different classes teach on different schools. All schools have similar classes like Mongolian language and reading and Tsahim, Mongolian culture. But you can see some schools has like chess club, teach chess, and like 3 schools teach chess. Chess is really it's in Mongolia. Chess is a big thing. When I was a kid, almost everyone played chess. So it's also keeping that kind of similar tradition, not only history or Mongolian language. It's teaching chess, math is also very connected with Mongolian lifestyle. And also we see horse fiddle teaches 2 schools, and summer camp, for right now on the summer camp teaches old Mongolian script. And STEAM classes also on the summer camp, and some drawing classes, and you can see dance classes everywhere. And school in Washington area has history class, and other schools don't have that. Also unique. And we ran a survey, and which had 36 questions. And all teachers currently teach in 6 Mongolian schools. They participated, and they answered all questions. And questions were like the bracket skill from 1 to 5, and there also was 1 open question. And we ran our survey based on the Google's and online. So we use Google tool, and they just clicked and answered. And here's some demographic information, maybe very interesting, of what is education of teachers. And you can see 13 of the teachers has master degrees and 2 PhDs, 12 bachelor degrees, so very high educated teachers. And this one is professional teachers. Now, instructors, there are lots of different type of teachers, but we just collected and called them all of them just teachers. And now 19 of 28 instructors are professional teachers, which is pretty good number. And we haven't translated all questions from the survey, and it's how they answered. And like this one, supporting others has pretty good value, highest outstanding value. And maybe this part, foreign language of teachers also here, and all the other questions answered mostly good and outstanding. There is also another personal skill measurement of the teachers, and like for example, like data processing or decision making and teamwork. The teamwork had lots of outstanding numbers, and his usage of computer. And also we had another questions for how teachers help schools, like they skilled for creating school program, teaching program or curriculum, and there is some educational standard in the USA or in Mongolia, right? So how they can follow those standards and learning students' needs and interest, and also content of classes. And tools, what kind of skills they have to use different type of tools, and has pretty good, outstanding and good answers. And this one is following program, class program, and the most of teachers has outstanding to follow, and how they prepare their teach has very good, outstanding answers. That's how I make the documentation. And the other questions have also very good and outstanding answers. So currently schools have around home schools or type of the weekend school in the US system, but also I mentioned there was open-ended one question, and that question was name your most difficult disadvantage item, and lots of teachers answered that schools don't have own place, own office. That is, they think that's their biggest problem. And there is Mongolian language classes here in the USA is not incorporating general education requirement in the USA is another disadvantage of schools. And some weak connection with the different type of public system in here US, also in Mongolia. And they also mentioned there is weak support from Mongolia, basically Mongolian government. And but good thing is the Mongolian government has Mongolian language and culture learning program. And there are also lots of support from outside, and it also from the group discussion they named about like 50 advantages, and we just collected 10 of them. And increasing number of Mongolian families in the USA and their children is biggest advantage of school. And Mongolian community life is getting better, and like people has get better employment, and they have good salary, they buy houses, which means they have they can invest more for kids' education, which is good advantage. And also starting our communities understands the importance of learning Mongolian language and tradition. Because earlier we had no time thinking about this, mostly work. And also since 12 years, most of schools had 12 years, 10 years running. So first alumni is already graduated from school, and they graduated from college, and they're now working, and they're coming back and helping schools, which is good advantage. And also parents volunteering is really improved compared to previous years. And Mongolians who work in global bigger companies, they support Mongolian schools through company corporate social responsibility program, and also Mongolian schools started, teachers started to talk each other, trying to collaborate, starting, and schools have published alphabet new book, which is good advantage, and also these are previous survey. Teachers are very professional with good. And here's new book. And here's how teachers collaborate to making the new book. It's all volunteering work. They did themselves. And here's a program from Mongolian government. And government defined lots of good steps for Mongolian schools about Mongolia. They're trying to define, they're trying to change the Mongolian education law and Mongolian language law. So schools need to be very active and talk with the government back and give the opinion how to change the law, what should be changed in law. And there's lots of good online websites government offering for schools. And this one is, like from this website, we can see all textbooks, Mongolian textbooks. And from this side, also it's from Mongolian government institution website, lots of news sharing, experience sharing. And this one is pretty good library. Also we can download and see lots of Mongolian books online and can use for schools. And this one is Han Academia. Yeah, Mongolia started to translating Han Academia classes in Mongolian. So schools can use this site. It's a pretty good opportunity. And of course also discussion group named lots of disadvantages, and our team select most of the 9 most important disadvantages. The first one is difficult to set up classrooms and make their own design because of rental policy, like schools can't change. It's also the same thing, difficult with rentals. And sometimes they have, because of financial issue, they can't hire better, more better qualified teachers. And some insufficient materials. Even we mentioned, like on previous slide, there are lots of websites, but still that's not enough and not insufficient teaching materials. And also, if the financial issues, and some disadvantage from parents' opinion. Lots of parents still thinking English is pretty important, and also they don't see advantage of the bilingual. And there is some less action from the supporter from Mongolia, and lots of students miss classes, and parents support them missing Mongolian classes. It's a big disadvantage. And kids not doing homework and parents not helping them, it's also a disadvantage. And same time, parents complaining, oh, kids not doing homework because they're not helping. So, and also there is some disadvantage named. There are lots of other extracurricular programs in the school, in public school in US. So Mongolian schools can't compete with them. If kid want to go ballet, then kid choose ballet and goes to ballet school, not the ballet class, not the Mongolian school. And And some parents have some different opinions, and they compare other kids wrong way, and some parents also very judgmental about instructions. Oh, we want to have this instruction and with this teacher and that teacher we don't want to have teach my kid, and it's very hard to. And others about fees, complained about fees, and there's saying no discounted fee for school, which is very hard for now. And so based on the advantage and disadvantage, we made some SWOT analysis, and basically strength and opportunity means they are all advantages, and external and strength can depend from the Mongolian schools. Basically what they're doing good is strengths, so they need to continue doing this good things, very high volunteerism and good teachers and community financial support. They're getting financial support from community fundraising, so they need to keep doing that. And same time, there's lots of opportunity from outside of the school, and school cannot change that opportunity, so they need to use right now, because there's lots of people's awareness, like said before, people thinking saw advantage of the bi-language, or also Mongolian is like unique. So like when kids apply college, they can use Mongol is like unique instead of being better if lots of English. So, and schools can change that awareness. So they need to use it's good advantage. And there are also weakness, and threat means disadvantages. And weakness means school can change that disadvantages. School needs to work better to fix that issues, and like especially extended collaboration. Schools need to talk and collaborate each other. Like 6 schools, they're except that book and some calls, there are almost zero collaboration between schools. And also they have some management difficulties with schools. It's teaching and managing schools completely different things, so they need to improve management. Also, teaching materials need to have more materials and more websites. But we saw there's like only one school has their own website, and other schools have no website. Means we need schools can change that. And some threat means school cannot change that disadvantage. It's not because of them. For example, one of example is we don't need to expect too many things from the government. It's in Mongolia, and they're doing their decision themselves, and we cannot change that process. And also, like I said, most of teachers said they're not having their own school, their own properties, big disadvantage. We agree with that, but it's kind of threat. Today's day, we cannot buy school office. So instead of complaining, this is big disadvantage, just a little bit away from that thinking. What is next biggest disadvantage? What we need to fix? What we can change? And also, schools cannot compute extracurricular activities in the other U.S. school system. So we need to accept that, and need to find different ways to attract kids. And we made some conclusion, and most important conclusion for us is history. We writing our own history right now. This is not only about schools. 12 years school running means 12 years history. And for this conference, we talked about lots of Mongolian history, about Genghis Khan, or about Chingunja, or about Amarsana, but Mongolian schools, it's our current history. Maybe 25 years or 50 years after today, they will study about us or our kids, how they learn, how they live in US. And I want to make some thank you words, especially for Mongolian community schools. All schools and all teachers very actively attended, participated in survey, and they talked freely, openly on the discussion group and answered all questions. And also I want to say thank you some our tuna supporters. Because of that, we ran fundraising, and because of that, we financially can do this research and come here and present now. And also we need to say thank you, Mongolian Culture Center having this conference. And if you need future contact, here is Tuna contact, and we are open, and we want to help Mongolian schools in the USA. We want to help our community in the USA, and we want to make, like Oshwaksh already got his next year's research for family for school.